The pyramid of the hopeless. People whom society has given up on, fate has given up on, or who have given up on themselves. Rock bottom, dead end, totally fucked up people with no hope and no reason to live. And we got our share of them. One guy, about a month ago, was given 3 consecutive life terms plus 2 death penalties. How the do you serve that? Even David Copperfield can't do that shit.
Those are snippets from one of George Carlin's stand-up shows. He argues that there is a group of society that he can pay to fly into the Lynn Canyon because society has aided them into the land of hopelessness. Let me lay some groundwork on the current state of society, and we will jump right into a rare George Carlin video that sums it all up. The streets are filled with people lost in a system, struggling every day, yet unseen and unheard. War veterans, heroes in the eyes of the many, are abandoned and they're left to fend for themselves in a world which they protected. Prisoners caught in a cycle of despair, seek redemption but find every door closed, and society is very unforgiving to them. The depressed and terminally ill people of society also fight battles every day, but society normally turns a blind eye towards them. This is a world of high contrast. The rich flourish, while very many others fight for mere survival every single day. The employed homeless are a paradox in our society. They work tirelessly, yet they have no home, and they have no sanctuary. Veterans are given medals and accolades, but are not given actually any real help. And if they are given help, it's not sufficient to meet their needs. This video is a cry for help, a plea for understanding in a world that is quick to judge and slow to lend a hand. George Carlin saw that the society is fractured and the system fails its people. This is a cycle of despair, but also a call to awareness. Today we look into George Carlin's snippet on the hopeless people in society. He uses a joke where he pretends to be a TV show host, and he argues that he can get the most famous TV show by getting a lot of the people in the pyramid of hopelessness to jump off the Lynn Canyon, and they would be glad that they did it. While this may seem like a dark joke, it has a lot of truth to it. Now let's dive into the groundwork before we look into his snippet. First are the homeless people. Did you know that many homeless people do have jobs? Yes. Between 40 to 60% of homeless people are employed. They're trying hard to change their situations, but think about it. How hard must it be to focus on your work when you don't have a home? They don't have a place to bath regularly, they can't receive mail easily, and they don't even have a safe space to rest. Every day is a battle for them. Sadly, many people judge them harshly and they see them as dirty or even as criminals. But we need to remember that they are fighting a tough battle every day. Now let's talk about war veterans. They serve their country, often risking their lives. But are they taken care of when they return? Sadly, the answer is no. Many wars are fought for the benefit of the 1%, and these war veterans and soldiers are normally tricked and normally convinced using words like patriotism, courageous, strong, to make them fight for the interests of the few, which is the 1%. The soldiers are hailed as heroes and they're given medals, but then what happens when they come back? Normally they struggle with PTSD and they find it hard to connect with family, and many are not happy with their financial situations. The average veteran in the USA earns $47,000 a year. This is not enough to lead a comfortable life, and this is a sad reality that needs to catch our attention. Next, we move on to prisoners. They serve their time, and when they're released, society does not welcome them back. The truth is harsh. Many of them can't even find jobs. It was found that 40% of ex-prisoners could not find jobs 4 years after they were released from prison. A large number of them actually end back into prison. It's a cycle that's never ending. It's a tough place to be in, and we need to think about how this cycle can be broken. But all of these groups that I've been talking about, and the ones that you'll see in George Carlin's video, have a common enemy. It is hopelessness. And hopelessness leads to very many problems. Substance abuse is one of them. Others fall to criminal activity and extreme groups. This is a dark path, and it's not easy to return from it. But what can we learn from this? We can learn to be grateful for what we have, and we can learn to be understanding and kind to these people. And this wraps up this part of our discussion, but the conversation is far from over. I would like to hear your thoughts on what you think about these issues and how we can help please leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video and share it if it touches your heart, and also subscribe for more deep insights like this. Now in the next half of the video, we have Judge Carlin sharing his raw and unfiltered views on this point. Of course, it's a snippet that is going to be both enlightening and thought-provoking.
Sweeps months. Most folks know what sweeps months are now. Those are the more important sweeps ratings months of the year when they put on all their biggest attractions and their hottest stars, try and pump the ratings up a little bit, get the local stations to adjust their advertising rates. You're going to have to compete with the mentality of network television. And I think on an all-suicide channel during sweeps months, you're going to have to go with mass suicides. Big public events where hundreds of people kill themselves all at the same time right on live TV. And I've been wrestling with a way to do this. I've been trying to figure this out. I swear to God, this is the truth. I've been trying to figure this part of it out for 6 months now. And I only recently have it, so I'm going to tell you about it. Now, we're going to have to get lots and lots of people to kill themselves on demand. How are we going to do this? That's the question. How are we going to get large numbers of people to commit suicide at a time and place of our choosing? And I mean large numbers, because don't forget, besides sweeps, we're going to have to be thinking about 24-hour-a-day programming. So to make this work, we need organization. You need a system. Can't just sit around the studio all day long and wait for people to drop by and commit suicide. What we have to do is build up a large pool of hopeless people. Suicide volunteers, people with no hope, people whom society has given up on, fate has given up on, or who have given up on themselves. Rock bottom, dead end, totally fucked up people with no hope and no reason to live. And we got our share of them, folks. Think of it as a pyramid. That'll give you a visual fix on it. Think of it as a pyramid. The pyramid of the hopeless. We're going to start building this pyramid at the very base, naturally, and the bottom layer is going to be homeless people. God knows we got plenty of them. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody's taking them care. Nobody's got a plan. Nobody's got any money. Nobody's got a program. Nobody gives a fuck about homeless people. We don't know how many we have even. We know 500,000 of them are veterans, because we're so good to the veterans in this country. And we know about 1,400,000 of them are children. So we got 1.5 million children. And then God knows how many more we got. Totally fucking hopeless. In the pyramid they go. Now, the next group we're going to put in here is these are the people in prison with these long sentences they've been given. Many of them deserved. I'll grant you that. I'm sure half the people in prison are in there for things they really did. That's not a bad average, 1 out of 2. But nobody gives a shit about these people. Nobody's going to hire them if they do get out. They're never going to get out. Rehabilitation doesn't work. And the judges give them these fucking draconian sentences, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100-year sentences, life term, double life. One guy, about a month ago, was given 3 consecutive life terms plus 2 death penalties. How the fuck do you serve that? Even David Copperfield can't do that shit. In order to do that, you'd have to be a Hindu. And then you got the people on death row. They ain't going anywhere. In the fucking pyramid they go. Now the next layer, this group is self-selected. Self-selected, and a bit controversial to some ears, I guess. These are these people who claim to be depressed, okay? Apparently in this land of plenty, this richest nation in the history of the world, we're so proud of saying that, some supermarkets have 100,000 items in them. We have 19 million Americans claiming to be depressed. And some of them take medicine for it. Sometimes the medicine makes one of them commit suicide, and that depresses the shit out of the rest of them. Then you have these people who only think they're depressed. They think they're depressed because they saw the commercial on TV and the doctor looked like a good guy. The music sounded kind of peppy, and what the fuck, some of these pills will probably just pick me right up. Totally fucking hopeless mindset in the fucking pyramid. Up at the very top, we are going to put the people who are truly sick, the terminally ill. Unfortunately, no hope for a lot of them. Hundreds of thousands of them. There's no cure for what they have. Some of them, there's no cure because nobody's looking for one. They ain't enough people sick with it, so there ain't no money in the fucking cure. Then there's people who've got, there's a cure, but they don't have the money for it. There's another one that's a cure, but they're too far gone. There's other ones that's a cure, but there's no social means to get to it. So these people ain't going anywhere. They should be allowed to commit suicide. Boom! In the fucking pyramid they go. Now, think of what you got here, folks. Think of yourself as the executive vice president of programming at the All Suicide Channel. Think of what you have to work with in the pyramid of the hopeless. You have homeless, imprisoned, condemned, depressed, and terminally ill people. And I'm going to bet you anything. In this depraved culture of ours, bet you anything. With the reality show mentality we have on the All Suicide Channel, you could get 500 of these hopeless people to hold hands and jump into the Grand Canyon of bet you. I'll fucking bet you could get that done in this country right this now. I'll bet you. For money. You got to give them something. You know, you got to. Oh, shit, they're Americans. They're for sale. Give them a little something. Americans will do anything, but you got to give them a toaster, don't you? Give them a little prize of some kind. Everybody wants a gizmo. Give them a gizmo. Give them a cell phone. Give them a laptop. Give them a cell phone, takes a picture of a laptop. Give them a laptop, takes a picture of a cell phone. Give them one of them three-wheel vehicles. Give them an all-terrain vehicle. Give them one of them riding lawnmowers. Give them a snowblower. Give them an outdoor barbecue or a jet ski. Give them one of those things they buy for themselves when they're trying to take their minds off how badly they're getting fucked by the system. I know what you do. Just before these people jump, you give them a hat with a camera in it. And you tell them it's jump cam. Tell them you'll send the video home to the family. T-shirt. Who don't want a T-shirt? Everybody does. Give them a nice T-shirt. I committed suicide and all I got was a stupid fucking T-shirt. All right? Now, if you want to really raise the profile of this promotion, get some of those evangelical Christians to volunteer for it, and you call it Jump for Jesus. Jump for Jesus. They would bite. They would go for it. Hey, you got to be fair. Got to be fair about these Christians. They come in for a lot of abuse these days. So you do have to be fair. All a Christian really wants out of life is to die and go see Jesus. Give him a helping hand. Do the Christian thing. Tell them it's a shortcut to heaven. Mention the word martyr. Works on the Muslims, works on the Catholics, might work with these folks. You never know. Hey, I know. Give him a little encouragement. Go on, you fanatical fuck. He's down there. He's down there. He's down there. He's at the bottom of the canyon. Look for the man with the glowing head. Oh, you could have a lot of fun with a channel like that. But you know something, folks? Maybe you don't want to be on cable. Maybe you don't want to be on cable. It is a limited audience. You might want to widen out and get more people looking in. You're going to have to go to the broadcast networks, one of the big broadcast networks. And I don't know about you, but when I think about suicide and broadcast network television, I'm thinking Fox. Huh? I'm telling you, Fox. If the people at Fox ain't sitting around having meetings on an idea like this, they ain't doing their goddamn jobs over there. So you put this thing on Fox, get Budweiser to sponsor it. Budweiser and a whole bunch of car companies so people can be thinking about drinking and driving at the same time. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun to watch the sporting events on American television? Drink this, drive that, f*** you. They don't care. They don't give a shit about you. And then every now and then they qualify the whole message. Drink responsibly. So you put this thing on Fox, and if you do, or on any broadcast network, you're going to have to bring in that younger audience. Everybody knows that. That's what the advertisers are looking for, is these 18 to 24-year-olds. You're going to have to get young people interested in this. You know how you get young people interested in suicide? You don't call it suicide. You call it extreme living. They would go for it. Listen, young people are attracted to suicide in the first place. Did you know suicide is the third leading cause of death between 15 and 24? It's third, ninth in the general population. That'll give you an idea how popular this after-school activity has become among our teenage folks, especially these young boys, these adolescent males, and a lot of them, you know, a lot of them, they kill themselves when they're jerking off. They don't mean to. It just happens. You know about that? Yeah, some of you know, I can tell. Yeah.